the ship Ford conducted its first full-ship VA test about 100 miles offshore from Port Florida Bay. An underwater explosion of 18 tons of explosives was detonated 100 meters from the carrier to ensure that it can withstand the harsh environment of war. According to the United States Geological Survey, the explosion was equivalent to an earthquake of magnitude 3.9 on the Richter scale, and the Ford only suffered minor vibrations. Passed the test perfectly. Initially, the advanced weapon elevator platform of this ship was considered a failure and received much criticism. But after more than 5 years of contact with the ship, it was found that these two features did not encounter any problem and had never occurred. The ship has achieved combat capability. Initial Match G explosion of the river in the area. The Guerrero of 4 has begun to deploy to the east, to the Mediterranean. Compared to previous generation Mimis-class aircraft carriers, the 4 uses a lot of high automation systems, helps reduce the number of personnel on board. The Nimitz has a full complement of 6,012 people, while the Ford only needs 4,539 people, including the aircrew and ground personnel. The fewer the number of personnel on the aircraft carrier, the longer the continuous combat time of the ship. At the same time, the use of many devices, high automation, will also significantly improve the ship's situational awareness. In addition to RA, the Ford is equipped with stealthy F-35C aircraft. With extended combat gunfire, the attack distance is also longer than conventional aircraft carriers. When confrontation occurs at sea, the Ford can let the F-35C aircraft take off from a long distance to attack enemy targets. Due to the stealth capability of the F-35C, the enemy's radar is unlikely to detect this aircraft, and therefore cannot determine the position of the carrier based on the direction of the fighter's flight, reducing the possibility of the carrier being detected and avoiding enemy attack. Furthermore, the electromagnetic launch system EMALS on the Vice carrier is easier to maintain and service than the traditional steam launch system. When operating, the launch force of this system can be adjusted. For example, when launching a large early warning aircraft, such as the E-20 School, the launch force can be increased for the FA-18, F-35C, and future unmanned aircraft. The launch force can be adjusted to suit the different weights and sizes of similar aircraft. In contrast, the steam launch system cannot adjust. The force can cause damage to light fighters, causing they cannot perform the missions following after takeoff. The use of electronic catapults not only allows for the adjustment of the launch force, but also allows the launch of more aircraft in a short period of time to maximize the combat capabilities of aircraft carriers, surpassing the traditional steam catapult. In the U.S. military's plans, the Ford will become the first aircraft carrier to have superior performance compared to the previous Nimitz class. The PHO is not only equipped with electronically scanned array radar, ANSBI-BA and ANSBI-4, multifunction and multiband radar systems, and ship defense systems, but also for the first time uses an electronic aircraft catapult, replacing the traditional steam catapult to launch all non-vertical takeoff and landing fighters. This new change has eliminated the traditional requirement for the production and storage of steam, thereby freeing up a large space between the ship's hull. Thanks to the electronic launch system, the number of aircraft launches per day on the ship supports 25% more than the Navy class, and over its 55-year life will save $4 billion operating costs. As of January 17, 2014, after completing an 8-month deployment, the Ford has returned to Norfolk, Virginia. The ship has sailed for 239 days out of Norfolk, conducted 43 replenishments at sea, and has traveled over 150,000 kilometers. Finally, according to the current plan of the U.S. Navy, the USS John F. Kennedy will officially be commissioned next year, and the U.S. naval power will be raised to a new level. The third Ford-class aircraft carrier is under construction, will inherit the legendary name Enterprise, and is expected to be commissioned in 2028. People think if the Enterprise is commissioned right, it will be deployed how far? The story of USS Kennedy and USS Ford shows us one thing is only temporary, but true strength will be tested by time and battlefield. The name Kennedy is a symbol, but it is the technology from EMALS F-35C to nuclear reaction that turns the ship into an invincible steel city in the sky. Life is not only weapons, but courage is the ultimate weapon, writing immortal pages of history. If you find this video valuable, please like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I am Hai. See you in the next video.